Welcome to the Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah.
And executive director to Paw Works. Paw Works is a nonprofit animal rescue that rescues all from California. To date, we've saved 8,100 dogs and cats from high kill shelters all over. Yeah, we actually started back in January 17, 2014, so we're about 6.5 years old. And when we started, we actually started with the goal to make our county, which is Ventura County here in California, no kill. What no kill means is that 90% of the animals in your community, shelters and rescues, actually get out alive. So when we began that first month in January, within 30 days, we were able to make our county no kill. And it's the first time they had ever been that way ever. And they've stayed to date no kill. So about 6.5 years no kill. And it's actually the second county in California to be considered no kill. There's only one other county up near Reno, and it's about a third of the animal population that comes into the shelters there. I'm 42 now, so back in my early 20s, I actually began a doggy daycare and boarding service out in San Francisco. And I did that for about 10 years. And then one of my clients for the doggy daycare actually introduced me to rescue. I've always rescued my dogs, but she actually introduced me to a rescue that she was working with. And I went in there and I actually got hired as their shelter manager after volunteering for several months. And I just felt like there was never enough to do. There was never enough time in the day, and I actually felt like I could do more. Being that I'm pretty level-headed when it comes to things, I was really able to balance and see that, yes, you have to have the emotional aspect when it comes to animals and rescuing, but you also have to, in order to thrive, you really have to look at it as a business, because like anything, money doesn't grow on trees. So you really have to balance it between the emotional aspect and how to run a proper business. And being that I ran my own business for 10 years and being that it was with animals, it really kind of just tied together and was a perfect fit. One point, because I've had animals my whole life, but as an adult, there was a point where I had 2 horses, 2 peacocks, 6 chickens, 3 roosters, 2 barn cats, and 8 dogs, and a child, a human child. I throw him in there because it's like a partridge in a pear tree. And then to date, most of those have passed of old age. And now we're down to 3 dogs. And I've told all my dogs that we won't get any more dogs until they've passed, because I feel like they've gone through the gambit of the rescue world, and it's their time to kind of just decompress and not have to bring a new personality into the mix right now. But I won't probably get another rescue dog because I spend my whole day and my whole life doing that for some time, unless you never know. Never say never. The one good thing about me is I treat everybody the same. There's minor exceptions that we make when it comes to celebrities, but they get the same questions. They have the same questions for us. But it's nice to see their humanity in all of this. Celebrities are just like us. They're normal people who happen to be on the big screen or in our TVs. But they have the same wants and needs as everybody else, and just kind of see that human side of them when they're not, in front of a camera is really nice. You'd be very surprised at how shy some of them are. Many actors and actresses are introverts when it comes to at home, and they just want to relax and chill. So it's great. It's great to be able to have the ability to adopt out animals, and really spread the word of adopt, don't shop, and really help push the momentum of Paw Works into the national spotlight. Ultimately, we really focus on California, right? The biggest proponents of pet overpopulation currently, even now. And really to kind of push that, get our state no kill, and really just take us into the national realm is great when it comes to the celebrity world. Recently, we had since COVID quarantine, we had Zoe Metcalf from the Connors and Roseanne. We've had Sarah Paulson from, she has her new show, Ratchet. Minim Assad, which is, he was live action, Aladdin. We've had Karamo from Queer Eye, adopted from us. Chris Sullivan from This Is Us. We've had Paxton Booth, who was on a Disney show. Reagan Revord, who's also on Young Sheldon. So it's really been the gambit of young and old who have come in and adopted from us. So Tales of Joy was actually created by myself and my production partner, Christy Foley of Pleasant Street Entertainment. And it was our idea, and we actually went, and she has a really great relationship with the Hallmark Channel, and I've done quite a few stuff with Larissa Wall, who's the host of Tales of Joy. And the first one followed primarily Paw Works in our rescue of 60 animals. So this time we really wanted to take it a little bit farther out and nationwide. So we partnered with Bissell Pet Foundation as well. And it was 9 rescues, including Paw Works, and we all went out to Opelousas, Louisiana, to a very rural shelter called St. Landry's Parish. And us 9 rescues ended up rescuing about 200 dogs and 1 cat. And it just follows that story from our rescue and our transport. So we had to drive our animals back. All the animals actually got driven back. So we drove 40 dogs from Louisiana all the way back to California. It took about 3 days, a lot of sleeping in the car and, and getting out and walking them and feeding them and all that kind of fun stuff. And then when we got them back, most of the animals that come from the South and especially Louisiana are heartworm positive. And what that is the parasite that attacks a dog's heart and lungs. And so we are still treating some of those, but all 200 dogs and 1 cat have been adopted that were on the show. And it really just follows that journey of that rescue, the transport, getting them ready for their adoption and then them in their forever home. So we highlight every rescue that was part of this. 7 from Michigan, 1 from Florida, and then Paw Works. And it just kind of shows that when we all come together, we can really make a difference. So we do a lot of partnering with network shows, and this one we'll get a shout out, and we'll probably get something on a chyron, that bottom part of the show that says how to find out more about these pups. But we're on a segment. There's a little boy who is out there making bow ties for dogs to help them get adopted. So I brought the pups to be the fashion models for the bow ties today. And they're going to shout out to Rescue and Paw Works. And it's just a great opportunity. We really love doing these type of things because, like you said, really to promote it and get these people who otherwise would not look at rescuing and possibly purchasing a dog. You actually see that these aren't second-class animals, that they deserve the same amount of love and attention as, you buying a dog. And yes, there is a price to rescuing, but what you get in return. These animals are so appreciative. I find that rescue animals they've had a tough life, and then going from, that impoverished, destitute life to somewhere very happy, just the gratitude that they feel and how excited they see, when they see you when you come home, wagging their tail and like you're the best thing in the world to them. And I can't say I don't see that with purchased dogs, but there's just a different gratitude, I feel. Well, there's several pieces of advice for if you're looking for a new dog. I mean, really look at your lifestyle and look at, right now, many of us are working from home because of quarantine or whatever protocols are in place. But ultimately, look at your lifestyle and look at, are you going to be, when the world goes back to normal, we don't even know if that'll be when or how, what normal looks like anymore, but just realize the type of person you are. If you're a more active person, you're not going to want, if you love going on hikes, you're not going to want a dog, who's, 5 pounds, who can, walk down the street and be tired and take a nap. You're going to want an active young dog who's probably medium to larger size, handle a hike, and go with you. If you're more of an introvert and you like to stay home and chill on the couch and watch Netflix, then you're going to maybe want a little bit older dog, or a dog that is more subdued, and just really do your research on yourself as much as the animal and the breeds that you're looking at. You have to really look inside yourself and what you need from an animal as much as what they need from you. Because so many times we make rash decisions because they're cute. But this puppy right here is only 8 weeks old, and it's probably going to be 60 to 80 pounds. So, if you live in an apartment, that's fine. You can have a 60, 80-pound dog, but they're going to need to go for a lot of walks and have enrichment, and you might need to have a dog walker in case you work 8 or 10 hours a day, or you might have to come home on your lunch. It's like, really look at your lifestyle when you're adopting. And then once you adopted, one thing that we attempt to get all our adopters to do is really crate train their animals. Many adopters don't like it because they feel like they're caging the animal, but what people don't realize is crate training really gives the animal a safe, quiet space of their own, away from everything. So that crate always becomes their safety blanket. So, and then they're safe from, making a mistake at your apartment or at your house, or chewing on something they're not supposed to, or swallowing something that might take them into emergency surgery. Really crate training, it not only gives them comfort, but it's also a protection for you and them. And there's nothing wrong with it. Dogs sleep, 8, 10 hours a day. So having them they stay in one place. They're not roaming your house in the middle of the night, typically. I mean, sometimes some dogs do, but typically they're sleeping 8 or 10 hours a day. So having them in a crate in one position where as long as they can stand up, move around, it's a very comfortable space for them to be in. And there's nothing wrong with it. So, I mean, if my best piece of advice with any person getting a new dog is really look at crate training, because it's an added benefit. And then, go out and hire a trainer or go online and take training classes, do something, because honestly, training is more about training the person than it is the dog. Dogs learn by repetition. So you say a word enough times, they're going to recognize that word with whatever item or thing that is. So really, training is to train the human being and not necessarily the dog as much.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.